So when I started this channel, I didn't really, it was kind of on a whim, and I didn't really think through a lot of different things. And one of them was the idea that these Silver Age comics that I'd be presenting, in many cases, to an audience of people who actually bought the comics when they originally came out. And so somebody had left a comment that one of the newest Legion of Superheroes adventure comics that I talked about, that they had received that comic in 1965 on Christmas. So that's really neat to me. But you might wonder, for me as a child of the 70s and 80s, how in the world did I get a hold of Silver Age Legion of Superheroes? Because I was a fan from a young age, and I didn't own any of the comics. So this is how I was introduced to them. And these books are so neat. So this one came out in 1982, and they published a ton of these back then. And for a child, these were pretty awesome. Basically, they're doing a whole bunch of reprinting. Now, this actually brand new. So we have a Shazam story in here um, that is new, and so it's not all reprints. But in this one, you have the first two Legion of Superhero stories ever published. So we get the introduction to the Legion of Superheroes, and I mean the colors are pretty bad. It's small. Sometimes the text is hard to read. It certainly was a lot easier when I was so I would have been 12 when this came out. So from a quality standpoint, no, it doesn't compare at all to the omnibus or just about any um, collections today. But for me, it was very, very cool to be able to read these. So we have a lot of stuff with Black Canary, Aquaman. Um, so basically, they took Adventure Comics, and you can see up there it's issue 491, and they just turned it into this smaller smaller book. But these are so cool. I don't know if other people also collected these, but again, as a child, they were really neat. So we're getting several um, Legion stories per issue, and again, we have a brand new Captain Marvel, Shazam, and Supergirl's first introduction. So 491, 492. Uh, I missed some issues, so I go from 493 to 499. But we have in there one of the ones I talked about recently, which is when the Legion went against Hitler, Nero, and Dillinger. And then it didn't last very long. So it lasted, they did this for 12 issues. Um, and is it, yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this is how I was introduced. And we also have in here Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, which is, this is issue 44. And there's a ton of this stuff out there. And I have just a small fraction, but I've had these since I was a child. The reason that these are, not in the greatest of condition is because I read them so much. Funny stuff. We have Detective Comics. So I was able to, read a whole bunch of these old Batman stories. And we have Superman versus aliens, Green Arrow, Metal Men, Superman battles the mightiest men in the universe, Secret Origins of Superheroes. So these are all, and I have more than this, but not a lot. There's just a few more. Um, I probably would have bought more, but at this point, yeah, I mean, I would even consider selling these because again, it's it from for me reading through them. Yeah, it's in fact, I maybe I should consider. There's kind of a nostalgic feeling for me, but they're kind of useless because sitting down and reading it, no, they're vastly inferior to just pretty much anything that would be put out today, including particularly the omnibus. But I just thought I would mention this is how I was introduced to the Legion of Superheroes. And at the time in the 80s, they were producing some pretty good Legion stuff. So I was getting old stuff and new stuff and really getting engrossed in the Legion of Superheroes and just fell in love with it. So anyway, that's just a little video on how I became introduced to the Legion of Superheroes in the Silver Age.